Okay, we're live. Hi, everyone. Uh, just to start with a little bit of housekeeping, as I always do, you can find these Lean Publishing Tip of the Day videos recorded on our YouTube channel on a playlist called, Lean Publishing Tip of the Day. You can also find the blog post that's devoted to each tip of the day on our blog at leanpub.com/blog. You can sign up for the Lean Publishing Daily newsletter on one of these blog posts or on our website at leanpub.com. There will be a banner near the top where you can sign up. The Lean Publishing Daily newsletter has these tips of the day in it that you get every weekday in your email inbox, and it also has a bunch of sort of cool ebook deals that'll be, and course deals and stuff like that that'll be there every day as well. If you like learning about these Lean Publishing tips, I highly recommend you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll also help you discover new books and authors and things like that. If you're a self-published author, it'll help you see what other people are doing and learn about some of the things that Lean Pub can offer you as a platform. So yeah, definitely go and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you like this kind of thing. So today, what I'm going to be talking about is creating a book cover image. This is one of those things that like everybody knows they're going to have to do it if they're a self-published author, but it can feel very daunting and the kind of thing you put off. There's other people for whom it kind of plays the opposite role, where they procrastinate from writing by spending too much time or a lot of time trying to create the best book cover image. But it is something that you should really think about. And as we say at the top, near the top of the post, maybe next to your title, probably the most important book marketing decision you're going to make is your book cover image, what it looks like and things like that. So I definitely recommend that you give it some thought. Also, remember that you can change the book cover image if you want to. So don't worry about, starting with the Lean Publishing philosophy. Start with something that just kind of works, and then you can iterate over time if you want to. Now, the number one thing to do first is to, and this is a sort of theme of these tips, is look for current best-selling books for precedents. In this case, the precedent you're looking for is books in your genre or in your subject area that are current bestsellers. What are their covers like? The interesting thing about that is that this is like more true for certain kinds of fiction, but there are trends in cover images that come and go. So it could be that, like, one year, let's say one publishing season, it's kind of a geometric pattern of a certain kind is associated with, a certain kind of a fiction book on a certain with a certain kind of plot. Like, believe me, this is actually a thing. Certain kinds of color schemes, certain kinds of colors, things like that can be associated with various things. One thing I would just recommend, let me switch tabs here. Right. One thing you can do is you can go to Amazon. That's a good place to go to see what's going on with books in your area or your genre if you're writing fiction. Here I've just typed in programming books, just not with LeanPub is open to books on all kinds of things. But we're particularly popular with programmers because it's really easy to update ebooks on LeanPub and stuff like that. But anyway, you can see here that, this is an old book, the Pragmatic Programmer, but, they've got a kind of image there of some tools. Eric Mathis, who was on the podcast once, the LeanPub podcast, has his Python crash course with this cool image of a snake around an engine, a plane engine. And then you can scroll down and you can see, other examples of covers. Just to give you a bit of a flavor of this on LeanPub, this is one of our best-selling books of all time. Roger Peng put a picture of a penguin on his book, and that's that. Now, one of the reasons this is such a great bestseller is that it's sort of associated with one of the biggest MOOCs, online courses in history. But you can see that being playful, not necessarily taking it too seriously, can work out just fine. Another example, this is it's got a free minimum price, and this book is for a certain kind of audience, which is kind of teachers around the world who are aware of this nonprofit that publishes these books. But here's what a kind of very successful textbook looks like on LeanPub. And I was just sort of thinking before I started recording this lean publishing tip of the day, what's a recent book I saw with a cover that I liked? And I did a launch video for this book with the author Johanna Rothman. Recently, she's got this great book out called Effective Public Speaking. The thing I like about this cover is the color, the yellow kind of pops out at you on that red background. It also prominently displays the subtitle. Subtitles are very important for selling books as well. But so you can really see the title. You can actually see that the subtitle's there. I mean, when it's too small, you won't be able to read it. But on a normal size screen, you'll be able to read the subtitle in the book cover image. And then there's this nice graphic of a podium with a speech bubble around it, which is just clever. And then there's the author's name prominently and clearly at the bottom. So I would say this is an example of a really good looking book cover. So step one, look at precedents, get some ideas, see what's actually working with other people. One of the reasons to look at precedents as well, and this might not be so much true, particularly in computer programming book world, but in the book world in general, is if a big publisher has published a book on something, they've probably spent a fair amount of money and time coming up with the book cover and coming up with the book title even. But they've probably spent some time on that book cover. They might have done A/B testing. They might have, shown it to focus groups, things like that. So by looking at the book covers of books published by big publishing companies that are current bestsellers, you can actually get a lot of, information about what's currently working and at least what they believe is going to work. So that's another reason to look for precedent book cover images. Now, to get very specific about on LeanPub, if you're going to go out and create a book cover image, you're going to want to know the details of what's required for your book cover image. And in this case, that means knowing what the kind of dimensions are and stuff like that. So a few years ago, we added this information to the book cover page on your LeanPub book where you upload the book cover. So basically, LeanPub books have a page size for the PDF version. And based on that, we can give you information about how big the image needs to be. So in inches and pixels. So that you can actually go to the book cover page for your book, and you will find this very specific information based on your current book theme. There's also other information here that can be very useful as well for how you want to create your book cover and what sort of the dimensions you want to be and things like that. In the blog post, you'll find a link to this article. You can also find it very easily on our Author Help Center. Just search LeanPub Author Help Center. If you're wondering where to find the book cover image, the book cover image upload page for your book, you can just use this Help Center article to find it. But it's on your book overview page. If you're a LeanPub author, you're probably familiar with this page on your book, where it's basically the everything page. And on the overview page for your book, you'll find a book cover link. Now, once you sort of you've got some ideas, you've gone out there and looked at precedent book covers, and now you know what your dimensions and your requirements are. Basically, the next question is, how are you going to make a book cover? One thing you can do is pay someone to do it. You can find maybe some artists that you can sort of approach to ask to do this. You can also use sites like Fiverr to find people who make book cover images professionally. But you can also make one yourself. We've actually got an article on LeanPub about creating book cover images. This is actually kind of funny. It's like using Keynote and PowerPoint is our guidance there. The reason we chose those is because they're very familiar to people. Basically, everyone who's a kind of professional probably has used Keynote or PowerPoint at some point. So you can then abstract from the guidance that we give in these articles to what you can do with other apps or tools or things like that. But kind of believe it or not, some really great LeanPub books that have sold a lot of copies, the author just went into PowerPoint or Keynote, created a cover image. So whatever works for you is a good idea, is good. One thing you can think about too is A/B testing over time. as I mentioned before. So you might want to create more than one book cover image. And then what you would do is you would try, basically, the conventional way to do this, as I understand it, would be to make an ad, like a Facebook ad or Meta ad or whatever, something for your book, pointing to your book landing page. Make sure you understand how to know whether that converts someone to click to go that ad to go to your landing page. But then what you can do is you can create the very same ad with just two different, like make two versions of the same ad, but one with one cover and one with the other cover, and then you see which converts better, or if one does. So that's a sort of experimenting you can do if you've got more than one book cover image that you've made. The final thing I'll say about book cover images, it's really tempting to use AI to create book cover images. And we're big fans of AI at LeanPub, and maybe like using AI in one way or another to help with your book cover creation is a good idea. But at least in the current state of affairs, AI, as we all know, like AI generated images all have a certain kind of look to them. And it may be that this is what your audience wants. It may be that your audience is, oh, cool, that's a cool AI generated image. But part of the problem is that there are a lot of AI slop books out there. Currently not so much on LeanPub, but out there in the online kind of e-commerce bookstore ebook world, there's a lot of AI slop books. And so if you have an AI looking cover image for your book, there's a set of people who you may alienate by having done that. And it won't necessarily be because they hate AI or something like that. It's because that looks like an AI slop book. So if you're going to use AI to help in the generation of a cover image for your book, I would just say be judicious, be careful. Same thing goes actually for like profile images, and even for the kind of like about the author copy and about the book copy that you write. If it looks too AI-y, that can really turn people off. So you want to avoid that. But in any case, so yeah, today's Lean Publishing tip of the day was about creating a book cover image. As always, there's a blog post that will be always on the LeanPub blog at leanpub.com/blog. If you don't see it on the blog page right away, you can click the magnifying glass and you can find it. And of course, these videos are all recorded for posterity, and they go up on our LeanPub YouTube channel at LeanPub. Definitely please subscribe and like there if you like these kinds of things and you want to get these new tips of the day coming into your inbox. You might want to try subscribing to the daily newsletter as well. So thanks very much, everybody, for watching this today.